This a Bodo beat.
YouTube. It's J Razor, and I'm back with another tutorial for your head top. Today we get into this Dimmable inspired blend fade, and it's how we gonna rock it. So let's go. So like I said, you always want to start by brushing the hair down to lay down a good foundation. You always want to start with a good foundation to get your cut started. So always brush or comb. Well, really your first start should be to shampoo, but you know, all barbers ain't into that. So, and all clients don't be wanting shampoo. So I mean, you just gotta roll with the punches. Okay, so here I start my first demarcation line with my black BaByliss FXs with the graphite blade. The graphite blade is like a fade blade, so it's gonna cut a lot closer. And let me stop you here. A blend fade and a draw fade is not the same thing. So if you have a client come in and they say they want a blend fade, this is a blend fade. A draw fade is a draw fade. I don't know why they call it that now, but hey, they like it, I love it. But you have to consult your client on what kind of haircut they are getting. So a blend fade usually starts with like a OA, triple O, you know, something close enough. Not bald, but close. Okay, so my second demarcation line is gonna be with a one guard closed. Like if you're doing a bald fade, you want to do a half guard, but doing a blend fade, it's a lot lower than a skin fade. So you want to take your one guard closed and make your second demarcation line. Usually, I mean, I kind of make a demarcation line, but I also kind of fade the hair out at the same time. So that's why you don't see a line there, but it's very faint. Okay, and my third step is my two guard. You always want to skip every other guard or every other blade, whatever that you may be using. Like a blend fade, I did middle ways, put the lever middle ways. That's to make my first demarcation line. My second was my one guard closed, and my third was my two guard. So if I was doing a ball fade, I would do ball, half guard, and then 1.5 guard to make my third demarcation line. So I'm just going in and kind of notching the weight out a little bit where it's kind of heavy. And as you can see, I'm gonna go with the grain. And you know, sometimes people tell you can't fade with the grain, but hey, different strokes for different folks. So I'm kind of just knocking that extra hair that's around the parietal ridge off where it's kind of heavy at, as you can see. And see, then doing it like that, it kind of gives you a different look to a fade. So, I mean, that's why I do it. But, I mean, if you got any tips, you know, you can let me know. We learn every day. We learn every day as ballers, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, if you got any tips you want to let me know, just shoot them to me. And for anybody that know me, like when y'all learn to know me, y'all gonna know me. I like to do my edge to make my haircut pop, like so I can see it. I can see the full haircut before it's finished. You know what I'm saying? You kind of gotta have that eye to see it. I mean, I don't know, but like that's just how I do it. I like the edge before I'm done with my cut, and it's not gonna be like a hard defined line, but it's gonna be a good enough line to help me see that cut, make that cut come together. So now I'm going back in on my gold BaByliss FX with the gold blade on it with my, you'll see me go back and forth with my my half guard, my 1.5, stuff like that, and kind of spot mop, clean up some areas that needs to be a little more faded. So enough of me talking. I'm gonna sit back and let y'all watch me work.
This a photo beat.
And now it's time for me to go in with my enhancements. I usually go hold and spray and then Toppik. So I spray the hold and spray on first. You don't want to spray it on too heavy, because if you do, it's gonna leave the hair too wet, and then the Toppik is the way it's gonna stick. It's not gonna. It won't lay right if you spray the hold and spray too heavy. So I spray a little light spray, go in with the Toppik. I spray another spray, come back in with the Toppik, and fill in the areas that wasn't filled in at first. So I do that, and then I hit it with one final spray. So I move on to the shave and let the hold and spray dry. And speaking of shaving, when you shaving or cutting somebody, like edging somebody up, whatever, you always want to make sure you have trimmers that are not too sharp, because you don't want to burn your client, or under their neck or face, you can give them razor burns from too sharp clippers. So you always want to make sure that your clippers are not set too sharp, because you hate to see them come back and have a black line on their face. Like, that's one of the worst things ever. So with the blend fade, you see I can still go in and give him a nice, clean, sharp line on his neck. And some people have to get a blend fade because of the simple fact that they can't get a skin fade, but they still kind of want the skin fade look. Because some people, if they get it bald, then they'll bump up really bad. So you always want to consult with your client to make sure that they can get a skin fade without bumping up. Because you have, like I said, you have some people whose skin is just sensitive like that. So now I'm gonna go in basically on the same side, on the opposite side of the head, and finish fading this side out. So I say y'all sit back and watch me work. So now it's time for me to go in and do my final detail work to make sure everything is perfect before I let my client out the chair. And that goes from getting the hair off his nape to relining them up to make sure the edge is crispy and straight, make sure it pops, make sure all his facial hair is gone off his face. You don't want your client to be walking out the door with little strands of hair still on their face. So you want to make sure you do all your final detailing work before you let them go, because that haircut is a walking advertisement. Anytime somebody sees your client outside of the shop, it's going to be either one of two responses. One's going to be good, one's going to be bad. It's going to be like, man, who cut your hair? Or it's going to be like, man, who cut your hair? I need to go see them. Where they at? Point me in the right direction. Point me to them. So now I'm going to go in. I'm going to go in with my sponge cream I got from Smash. The links will be in the description where you can get it from. I'm going to go in and, I think it's two types of moisturizer. It's a curl hydration and a curl texture. One is to keep it moisturized, one is to give it like body. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes it sponge so good. Because a lot of people, when I sponge their kids' hair, they be like, man, I can't get it like that. I can't get it like that. It's just certain products that you use. So, I kind of found what works for me, and that's what works. So, like I said, if you want to purchase some, links will be in the description below. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the cut. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell notification for post notifications anytime I drop a new video. Share it to your friends. Share it to your loved ones. Drop in the comments, what haircuts you would like to see me do next. And I am out.